Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Changing the way you talk about what you do can help you get more clients. And I'm supposing you're a coach or consultant that's looking to grow their business. And if you're passionate about doing the work that you're meant to be doing and living an inspired life while you're doing it, you, my friend, are in the right place. The Online Prosperity Experience is the show for you because my mission is to help coaches and consultants like you build a brand that they're proud of and create a lifestyle that you love. And today we're going to be looking at how to explain what it is that you do in words that your clients understand. And, sometimes we could be struggling with how we actually explain what it is that we do for people to be able to buy from us. I mean, a scenario like this might actually be a commonplace in your business right now, where you find yourself cold calling potential clients and having them hang up in your face because they don't understand who you are or what it is that you can do for them. And maybe you're sending out hundreds of emails each and every day without even getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for stopping by, or thank you so much for reaching out. It's simply because you're not explaining the actual benefits that you bring to the table and why anybody should care to stop and listen to you. And you're wasting thousands of dollars on ad spend without even generating any qualified leads. And sometimes it actually feels like maybe nobody wants to buy what it is that you're selling. And if you're actually relying on your business, like what I know most of my clients do, to put food on the table and pay rent. I mean, it can put an enormous strain on your emotion, and it can actually leave you terrified, having to give up on your dreams and return to a safe 9-to-5 with your tail tugged in between your legs, just simply because you can't bring in new clients. So I got a question for you here. Are you struggling with how to explain what it is that you do? If you listen carefully, the first thing that I told you at the beginning of this podcast was to tell you exactly who you are and why I help you and why you need to pay particular attention. Because, like I said, my mission is to help inspired coaches and consultants like yourself to build a brand that they're proud of and create a lifestyle that they love. Now, wouldn't that be nice? Or isn't that the thing that you actually want for yourself? And that's the reason why you went into business for yourself, okay? So when you, I need to know this. When you introduce yourself, what is the normal reaction that you get? When you show up to a networking event, or you show up at a party, or, some sort of get together, do people actually understand immediately and want to learn more about what it is that you do and why they should care to stop the conversation that we're having to pay attention to you? Because definitely you're bringing in the solutions that they're looking for. Bear in mind that people are looking for solutions, that will help them, be happier, be richer, be thinner, and be better than other people. Or is it that when you show up in front of people, and you say what it is that you do, you say, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm an accountant, all you hear is crickets? Because, when you're talking or writing to your potential clients, you obviously want to communicate clearly. They need to understand beyond reasonable doubt why they should defend your, line in their credit card statement, But how do you actually know if what you're saying is really connecting, okay? Because if you've got a good what I do statement, okay, what is it that you do? What are you bringing to the table? Why should we defend, keep paying you every single month? it actually speaks to your ideal client because you've understood what their pain is and you actually understand what you want them to ask of you. Okay, what is it that you want them to ask you to do for them? And I understand this is not an easy thing to look at because you already have your business, you already have the clients that you have, but you could have more. You see, because in an ideal scenario, your potential clients, they hear or read about the problems that you solve and think, wow, she really understands what I need and I want to hire her. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you want your clients to self-select that I'm the right kind of person with the right kind of problem that needs this solution. That way, your marketing spend goes to zero and you don't have to chase people to hire your services. And if you've never had people chasing you to work with you, then there's a good chance that you're not speaking in your ideal client's language. Izinto ndingathanga kutaura chirudzi chausinganzwa ungandinzwere epapa wawo ndiri kutoshamisa kuti komufeso yaakutaura nezvekuti chii. You see what I just did there? I started speaking in my own language. Half of the time we're showing up in front of our clients without the right message, without the right, benefits that our clients are looking for. You want to connect with customers through customized interactions and have active responses from them, which basically tell them that you're the right person that they need to be working with. Because it's your customers that drive your business, which is why it's so important to note how they interact with your brand and don't just reach out to them when you want, their business. You want to find ways to continuously show them that you care and show them that you are there for them. And how are you going to do that if you don't understand your target market and if you haven't clarified your message? So your message or the what I do statement actually serves a purpose. And it's not just to talk about you, it's to connect with your ideal clients. I viscerally know that you want to create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I know you want to build a brand that you're proud of. I know you want to create a lifestyle that you love. And that's the reason why I show up every single day in the podcast platform of your choice so that we can create for and relate to each other, and that way we could always exchange value. Okay, so I'm speaking to you and I know you are my ideal client, and the best way you want to to get out of your own head and connect with your audience is to actually walk in the shoes that your clients are having. So half of the time, a lot of us don't quite know how to create relevant information. If you ask yourself right now, what are you embarrassed with, or what are you struggling with right now, and what are you doing about that? I'll tell you something. From there, you can actually find the pain points that your clients are going through, and you can literally, show up with empathy and with courage to help them be, do, and have a happier existence. And I can understand, as a coach or consultant, explaining what you do is a challenge, especially this day and age. You know why? Because if you're a professional who does maybe deep work for clients, maybe you work with, mindset, and it's all transformational, it's very difficult for you to showcase what it is that you can do for them, because how are you going to show or prove beyond reasonable doubt that the work that you do helps people increase maybe their health, their wealth, or their relationships? Because each and every one of us as an individual is different. Okay, so you might experience what I call the problem solution gap, which is basically, there's a problem and the people that are looking for that solution don't know it yet. So you've got to go on an, educational spree to let people understand who you are and what it is that you're bringing to the table. So this problem solution gap is the difference between what your clients say their problem is and the real underlying problem that they want you to help them solve. So when people have health issues, it might be the fact that they're too fat, they can't fit into their wedding dress, they might not be finding themselves maybe attractive to their partner, and that means they're no longer having enough sex or things of that nature, and it and it's crippling their style, or their relationship is in jeopardy, or they have issues to do with wealth, and maybe their saving habits have not been coming full circle, or they have not been putting away enough for them to actually have a healthy nest egg. All right. So they might not know that. They might just know that, oh, I need to invest. But what is the actual driving force? Is it to send their kids to college, or is it for them to be able to run around the park and run with their kids just because their health is optimum? Okay, so the problem solution gap is usually the difference, as I mentioned. And for example, if a client shows up at your door and she says she's stuck and maybe doesn't know how to move forward, you might already know from experience that the real underlying issue is maybe their mindset. Okay, that could be the thing that could be a big drawback. But if you start talking to them about how they can overcome their fears and maybe their mindset, you've completely lost them, because that's not what they're after. They don't assume, or they don't think that that's the problem that they have, and she might not even know that that's the underlying cause, because not a lot of people think in the same frequency as you do, and all that she knows is that she feels stuck and she wants to feel unstuck. Okay, people will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So you need to understand where exactly it is that these clients are and how you can get them unstuck. And it's in the way that you speak, the words that you write on your website, and the way that you actually create content for them. Because as you would understand, the internet is created and revolves around community, conversations, and content. So if you know the community where your audience is hanging around, you should reach these customers where they are. Either it's face-to-face, on the phone, or social media. And once you show up, you need to have the conversations that gain their attention, because without attention, you can't, proceed talking to them any further. And that's where you got to have the content that's already going out there so you can leverage off of that. So that's why it's so important to meet your clients where they are in their journey and clearly explain what it is that you do to help. Okay. Now, what would you do if you maybe had more demand for your services than you can possibly handle? I want to ask you a question. Would you raise your prices, or would you fire all those lousy clients that don't have product and solution fit for what it is that you're solving for them? Or would you only choose the products and projects that you love? Or would you expand your business? Because from what I have seen in the experience working with coaches and consultants and some small to medium businesses, they always dream of having that perfect customer that just arrives seemingly from nowhere, already convinced that, yeah, I want to buy whatever it is that you're selling. And you know what happens when that inevitably fails? They just build a website and put up a few memes on social media and then wait. As a business, without a steady demand of an excess of buyers, you have to accept whatever works comes your way at whatever price that wins the job, and at whatever terms that the buyer sets for you. Now, is that a way of running a business that's profitable and enjoyable? I don't think so. Now, if you would want to have ideal clients coming to you instead of you trying to find them, you need to sell them what they want and give them what they need. Okay, that way you literally earn trust before your sales process even begins, and you can literally design a self-guided path for these clients to follow, because they already know what they want. And you're only just going to give them what they need, and that's a match made in heaven. And you start building a sales funnel that actually fills itself, and you respond effectively only to the opportunities that you want to work with. And those that are not quite ready to work with you, you know what? You let them be. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I said, you need to sell them what they want and give them what they need. All right. And don't just reach out to them when you want their business. You want to find ways to continuously show them that you care. And that is exactly what your customers want. But this is not to say that your clients don't have the problem that they claim to have. They just don't know it yet, or they don't quite know how to articulate it. And it is said that if you can show up in front of your audience with, already, if you can articulate more of what they're going through, because you need to have gone through that with much more empathy, they already assume that you've got the solution to the problems that they are facing. Okay. And like I said, your clients might not even know that they have, the problems that they claim to have, and they actually maybe do have the problems. It's just a symptom of an underlying deeper problem that you would actually help them uncover and eventually solve. Okay. We're here to help our clients grow. We're here to help them be, do, and have a happier existence. All right. And the last thing we want to be doing is begging clients to come and work with us. Nobody wants that. But you need to address the piece of the iceberg that is actually visible. Because if you don't speak to the problem that they say they have, now these prospective clients won't even know that you are able to help them. This is why you literally need to walk half a mile in their shoes, because people are always looking to belong. People are looking to connect. People are looking for peace of mind. People are looking for status, and people are looking to be valued. All of those are the things that they present to you as, you need to have a solution for that. So this means you need to understand and speak your client's language everywhere. This is on your website, on podcasts like this, in your marketing, in your conversations with them on Zoom, anywhere you have an opportunity to speak to somebody. Don't just post half thought out memes out there. You literally need to know exactly what your clients are going through. You need to know exactly, how to speak to them and bring them to the table based on what it is that they want. And then you then give them what it is that they need. Okay. And if you don't know exactly what they want, it's time for market research. And you could always find out what your clients are going through and how you can best be the person to serve them. Okay. Now, you might be asking, what happens when you clearly explain what it is that you do, especially in the language that your client has? Okay. Now, I always give this example where I need some teeth work done. All right. And every day when I'm taking my kids to school, I walk past this dental surgery where they have a sign outside that says new patients welcome. Now, I don't identify as a patient. I don't identify as somebody who has an emergency that, with their teeth. But at some point, if they spoke my language, if they spoke about, would you want to be confident about your smile moving forward, or things of that nature, that would attract me into their shop. Okay. So imagine how many people are just walking outside your shop and the words that you have used to attract them are not actually resonating. Okay. When you meet your client where they are and you speak their language, it does not limit you in any way. Some people think that's called niching. I've spoken about niching in different episodes there. You can always check them out on the Online Prosperity Experience. When you speak the language that your customer understands, it actually opens the gates for you to serving and impacting the lives of more potential clients who have the same problems. So it is up to you to actually find out if it is something that you can work through. And if you acknowledge the initial problem that your client has when they come to you, it doesn't mean that you're not going to go into any deeper work with them. Of course, you're going to, you know what I mean? It's your job to be the expert, all right? To show them how their problem is a symptom of something much bigger than what they're experiencing right now. So if you change the way you talk about what you can do, the way you talk about what it is that you do, you can help more people, and it helps you get more clients. And when you meet clients at their level and you speak their language, you actually open up the conversation and you establish trust, and people buy from those that they know, like, and trust, as you already know. Okay, so in order to work with you and figure out what your clients are actually looking for, I want to invite you to maybe schedule a consultation with us so that we can literally look at what exactly you are letting your people know, and how you are attracting these clients. All right, you need to be taking advantage of making sure that you are speaking the right language to the right people, and solving the right problems. Okay, so we'll work hands on, and then I'll help you develop a strategic plan, and then deep dive and work through your ideal client clarity. And then look at your strategic messaging and look at what consulting offers that you're putting out there, and look at your fees and your pricing. And also, if none of that matches where you're at in business, we'll actually do business model optimization. And then I'll help you set up your marketing engine and lead generation system so that you can consistently attract the right kind of clients with the right kind of pain. That way you are not spraying and praying with your marketing. All right. One thing that a lot of people tend to do is try and group their clients into maybe one sort of pain point and one sort of paint them with one single brush. Okay, you don't want to use a one size fits all approach. Like I mentioned, the dentist that says new patients welcome, they're just calling everybody a patient, but I don't identify as a patient. So you want your customers to feel special, all right? And you can achieve this by approaching each and every one of them as an individual rather than just yet another customer, yet another hashtag, yet another liker, yet another follower, because grouping all your customers together will only express inauthenticity. All right, if somebody does not understand what you're saying, they're not going to respond to the words that you're trying to reach out to them. People do not respond to marketing that is not directed at them. Okay, so in our messaging here at Live Long Digital, we'll treat a heavy user of our community or of our products or tools differently to somebody who is a lighter user. Different products for different people, okay? And we treat a new user differently than somebody who's been with us for a longer time, because that way that person actually feels appreciated. Have you ever noticed what they do with telecommunication plans, that they make it cheaper and more attractive for new customers, and if you've been with them for a while, they don't care anymore, okay? So we literally treat each and every new user differently than a veteran user. We try and make the message as relevant as possible to that specific person. This is why when you explain what it is that you do in the words that your clients understand, it makes them want more and be open to do business with you. So the key takeaway here is you want to customize your user interactions, and it actually improves the relevance and authenticity, because if somebody's only just getting started, they're just looking for what they want, okay? But if they've been with you for a while, now you want to be opening up content for what they exactly need. And it's easy if you've got tools and systems to actually segment your audience out there. And when people start responding to you, you want to respond to their concerns, okay? You just don't want to be available when your business is doing well or when your customers are satisfied, right? Because if you want customers to trust and respect you, you need to earn it by proving your dedication to actually making them happy. So at the end of the day, you want to be there. And it is in these hard times when clients are actually finding it hard to connect with your business that you get more of what it is that is actually a pain point for them. So you want to respond to customer concerns. It not only builds trust, but it actually gives you the ammunition and the right language that they use to explain and express their issues. And that way you can start using the way they make these inquiries into your marketing. And Once you've done that, just go above and beyond. Because at the end of the day, or if you're a small business owner or a coach or consultant, you will likely have a closer connection with your customers, and you can only use this to your advantage, because the more you talk to them, the more they tell you more things that are worrying them, because then you've got an opportunity to encourage their dreams, confirm their suspicions, justify their failures, and even help them throw rocks at their enemies. And you can get more products out of the one person, and maybe you can even offer special discounts for customer loyalty and recommend specific products just based on what you now know about that customer's interest, and you can always remedy an unpleasant experience. That way, you know what the next logical offer should be, and it makes it easy for you to actually grow your business, because you are interacting with these people. They're telling you what the next thing that they want looks like, and you just there to provide them what they need, because some customers would obviously have a negative experience with your brand. However, it's your job to actually ensure that your customer or your client's experience ends well. You now know where the notes are in your process. You now know if there's any glitches in the matrix. And when you offer exceptional customer support, you actually keep them coming back for more. And sometimes you have to go above and beyond to build raving fans of your business. You just don't get clients that show up on your doorstep without you having, exerted a bit of effort while you're also learning from them, so that you can provide them with whatever it is that they want. Okay, and going above and beyond for your customers can actually increase their perception and loyalty to your business, because now they know they're not going to get this from anybody else, and you're the only person that then shows up like the knight in shining armor. So I still have that question lingering. If you're struggling with how to explain what it is that you're doing, I don't think you're spending enough time with the right clients or with your ideal clients, and actually getting them to tell you exactly what it is that they're looking for from you. Because every time you introduce yourself and you sort of get crickets when you tell people, oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, or whatever it is that you do, it's an indication that people don't immediately understand what it is that you do, and they have no intention to learn more from you, because you're not interesting enough for them. Okay, and the reason why this is all happening is because we haven't taken the time to really learn what our customers want, because you have an opportunity to learn from the customers that show up to you every time. Okay, and don't just when they show up and buy from you, you want to keep it a little bit personal, not just transactional. Okay, being more personal with your customers actually strengthens your bond with them, because it's like a relationship. It makes it harder for them to divorce you at a time when they want to go somewhere else or work with somebody else. Okay, so when you're talking or writing to your potential clients, you obviously want to communicate clearly. What are they saying? How are they expressing the pain that they're going through, and how are you capturing it if you're not personal with them? Okay, rather than being aggressive when you're selling, try to be more consultative and actually conversational, so that your clients understand your intentions, and they know that you're not just wanting to one up them. Okay, nobody likes a salesperson. All right, so don't go in talking about your product. Go in and ask them questions about their business, because people like talking about themselves more than they would want to hear anything about your product. So when you're speaking to your customers in a conversational and sort of personal tone, you can literally improve their perception of what your brand can offer them, because people don't know what they don't know. All right, so you want to make sure that while you're talking to these customers, you are crafting a what I do statement that speaks to your ideal client. Because in an ideal scenario, your potential clients would hear or read about the problems that you solve, and they would literally say, yep, that's the guy, that's the girl. They really understand what I need, and I want to hire her. So if this has never happened to you, there's a good chance that you're not speaking your ideal client's language. And this is not only costing you business, but it's actually hurting your growth, because people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And you've got an opportunity to literally learn from the customers that you have right now and ask them how you can best serve them. And people will tell you what the next logical thing they will be looking for from you would be. Okay, so your message or what I do statement actually serves a purpose, and it's not just to talk about you. It's to connect with your ideal clients. And the best way to connect is to get out of your own head and into the head of your clients, because they're the ones that are paying you. They're the ones that know what they're going through, and they're the ones that are looking for the solutions that you can possibly serve them. So if anything, I would like to help you figure this out. Okay, and in order to maybe clearly explain what it is that you do, you really need to have a relationship with your customers. Okay, in order to want to work with you, clients need to know, one, do you understand them? Two, do you have a solution? And clearly explaining what it is that you do is the first step. Okay, so if you want to get clear on your message and you want to feel confident about it, I encourage you to check out what we're doing with our marketing, and also schedule a call so that we can actually get a grip on what it is that you're saying and how you're saying it and to whom. That way you can create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And remember, my mission is to help inspire coaches and consultants like you to build a brand that they're proud of and create a lifestyle that you love. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with this information. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au.